everyone, and welcome to the final episode of our final session in our GrooveDigital series. That's Cheryl has been taking us on a tour through the different apps within the Groove web platform. And today we are going to cover what we haven't covered so far, which includes GrooveVideo, GrooveBlog, GrooveWebinar, and GrooveKart. Which is the e-commerce store that is right there in the Groove platform. And before we get started, let's just go ahead and get centered, get present, and ready to delve into everything that Groove has to offer. Okay, so make yourselves comfortable, feeling your feet on the floor, your body against the chair. And bring your attention to your breath. Inhaling through your nose. Exhaling slowly through your mouth. And as we continue to breathe this way, place your attention at the base of your spine. As we settle in, anchoring into our body, coming present into this moment to be able to receive the information that Cheryl will be sharing with us. And remembering that anytime we start to notice any overwhelm or anxiety around any of this tech, any of this new information, to go straight back to the breath, the tension at the base of the spine. Simply breathe and settle. And I want to thank you all for being here right now with us all as we come together, whatever our work is, whatever it is that we have to share in the world. That is why Cheryl and I are here sharing about this platform, potentially a means to support you in sharing your gifts in the world and getting your work out there. So when you're ready, go ahead and open your eyes, coming back. And I'll hand it off to you, Cheryl.
Take a little sip to wet the whistle. So before we get started, I'm just going to do a basic review of what we've looked at in Groove and how we've been looking at the entire process as a 5-step process to getting your work out there and available to others. And the first step was to decide what your offer was going to be, whether that is an actual offer or just that you're going to build a list to start with. And how one of the main steps to do is to find a place for your offer to live, and how we're going to use Groove Pages to do that. And then within Groove Pages, Groove Funnels to multi-step it if you want to. And the next step was how you can offer it to people through a shopping cart, how we're going to use Groove Sell to do that. The fourth step was delivering your offer, and communicating with your audience was the fifth step. And we're going to be using Groove Member to do the delivery of your offer, or at least the instructions on how to receive what you're offering. And then Groove Mail to do the communication aspect. And those are basically the 5 steps that you have to do. And everything else within Groove is truly meant for you to grow your business as much as you want, because all of the tools are there to do so. And we're going to talk about a couple of those other software things that are available to us within Groove to do that. And I do want to remind everybody that if you do sign up for a free account or a paid account, you're invited to join us starting next Monday at 2 o'clock. We're going to do a 6-week series of 90-minute workshops that are going to be what I refer to as over-the-shoulder training, where I get on and I literally walk you step by step through everything that you need to do to get your business up and running. And for the first 5 weeks, we're going to be addressing those 5 steps that I mentioned earlier. And the 6th week is going to be there in case we have some crossover that we need a little extra time on any of the 5 steps. But they're definitely designed to walk you baby step by baby step through the whole process. And after that 6 weeks, you really can have an offer out there to the world if you're ready to do so. So today I just wanted to show you some of the other things. So I'm going to share my screen in a minute, but I don't think everybody was here when I mentioned this earlier. So I do want to really stress this again too. There was an email that came to us this morning that led me to believe, and I led Becca to believe, that come Wednesday, the free account in Groove is going to be structured different. And so just to be careful, if all you are is interested in the free account, make sure you sign up for that before midnight tomorrow night, because we were given the impression that all of that is going to change too on the limits that you're allowed within the free account. So be sure to do that at the very least, okay? So let me share my screen and we'll get going on today's topics. So let me find the right screen. And you should be seeing my dashboard. Is everybody seeing that? Yes, all right, thumbs up for that. That's good to know. So let me just move a couple of things around in here so I can see everything clearly. Okay, so where I'm taking you right here is this particular dashboard is the, these are all the different software systems within Groove. Groove Pages, Groove Funnels, Groove Sell, Groove Affiliate, Groove Mail, Groove Member, and we've touched upon all of those already. So right now we're in GrooveVideo. And this is the quick link dashboard that you see when you first get into the video dashboard. And I'm just going to pull up the library and show you, this is the video that Becca and I had done back before the new year when we thought Groove was coming out of beta then. And we had done some kind of cool little stuff in here, and I want to show you what that's like. So let me just pull this up first and start this for just a second.
Hi, everyone.
And what I want to do is pull you over the 5-minute mark and then let this control bar go away for a minute. As soon as I get my mouse out of there, it should drop down. And maybe it won't. So anyway, I'll just show you. You can see over here a little bit, it says click here. When you're in the video playing in a normal screen, maybe it's because we're in the dashboard that it's not happening, but this bar will drop away. And at any time that you decide to encode the video, you can actually put a clickable button within the video itself. And that's kind of a cool thing to be able to do, because as you're doing a video for one of your programs, instead of saying, you know, click on the video below or click on the button below, you literally could put that button in the video. And so that's where this button lives. And if you click on it, it brings you over to whatever page you're bringing people to. And right now we have it going, or we had it going to the sign up for the free account. So that's kind of pretty cool that that can live right in there. And I want to show you a little bit more about that by taking you in as if we were editing the video. When you do a video, what you do is you upload the video to this part of the dashboard. And they will not host the videos for you if you have a free account, but you can bring in your video storage. So you can either pull in a YouTube video, which I would not recommend, but you can make your videos live on like the Amazon S3, and then you can pull it in from there. But once you pull it in, you get to do this basic details over here where you get to change the overall look of it and add a watermark and all of those kind of fun little things, even do an end action. And this can really help you keep your branding in place. But what's cool is when you go on a little bit more, this area over here, you get to make some additional decisions about the play button. You can choose from a variety of different buttons and everything. But when you get to this last part of video elements, you can add all of these different things to the video itself and encode it into that video. And what I mean by encoding is just like I showed you before where that button was over here, right in the video that you just had to click on it and it took you to where you want to go. You can also do that with an opt-in form. So instead of sending somebody away from your video and to an opt-in page, they can opt in right there within the video. So that's kind of a pretty cool thing that you can do. I do have to mention, I just have to think about this for a second to make sure that I'm sure about this. I'm about 95% positive, maybe even 98% positive, that they do not allow any encoding of videos in the free accounts. They will allow you to upload videos and store them there up to the limits. 15 right now for free account, only 5 moving forward come Wednesday. But you cannot do any encoding. So all of these cool little video elements would not be available in a free account. The purpose of being able to upload your videos otherwise, though, is if you want those videos to show in the membership area, if you decide to build a membership. But all of this encoding stuff is not allowed in a free account. And I just think this stuff is pretty cool. Usually you have to pay for different applications to be able to do that, and it's a lot more complicated than what you're looking at here. So I was very excited to see this when they decided to do it. Let me get out of there. There's really nothing else I need to tell you here except that they also have analytics, and that's where you would go to look at your stats, such as how long the average person is watching your videos, how many unique people are watching it, because someone could go back and watch a video 10 times, but they would still only count as one unique view because they're only one person, versus having 10 different people come to view the video. So that kind of analytics is under reporting over here, and the categories and stuff is just to help you keep track if you have a lot of videos listed. And that's about it over there. Settings is where you would go to set up your storage if you are not a pro member. This is where you would add your S3 account so you could pull up other videos within Groove. But other than that, that's all you really need to know about GrooveVideo. So we're going to move on to GrooveBlog. Now, GrooveBlog is what takes the place of WordPress or any other place that you would do normal blogging. The thing that's really kind of unique about Groove, again, is the fact that they have a whole bunch of SEO built right into the platform. If you're not familiar with SEO, that stands for Search Engine Optimization. And I have a little test blog on here that I can open up and show you the dashboard. And this is what the dashboard would look like when you're just starting out. I did not set up a blog within my paid account yet. We're going to actually be doing that together during the 6-week workshop series. And I wanted to show you just the basics of this, though, because it has all of your basic elements of a blog where you can list your different posts, and you have your basic navigation. But over here under posts, I want to show you how you can make some of the SEO magic work for you. That's under here, where you could put in all of these little things, your keywords. All right, over here is where you can add your metadata. All right, and here is something that is not familiar to a lot of people. And if you are working on WordPresser, you need a separate plugin to do this, and it doesn't always sync properly. But Open Graph is something that allows you to control how your work is presented out there to the world, even on the search engines. And it also helps the search engines understand what your post is about. And because of that, Google happens to favor your posts over people that don't have Open Graph. So a lot of the stuff that's plugged, that is built into here is built in so Google likes you over and above somebody else's blog. And it's also why they kept the blog as a separate program, because it allows the blog itself to run much faster. So when a customer comes to one of your blog posts, what ends up happening is it loads very, very quickly and does a whole bunch of other stuff, mobile ready, and everything else that Google prefers. And so it gives you a lot of Google juice, for putting it that way, that is over and above what WordPress or anything else can do for you. It's very unique to the way that they built this. So it's almost everything that runs behind the scenes that you're getting the benefit of, but yet you can come in and control this aspect of it with Open Graph and your metadata that will even give you more Google juice. So that's pretty exciting to me, because I used to do a lot of this stuff manually on my websites. And when I bring my websites over to Groove, it's going to be just, I love the whole idea of it. It's going to be great. So let me see if I have anything else over here that I wanted to talk about. And I don't think so. Let me get out of this. The posts, you get to set up your categories. Oh, and themes over here is where you can go in and you can customize all of your colors and everything else. And it's also where you can change the basic layout. Let me see if I can make this a little bit bigger to show you this. So, for example, if you toggle this on, now you could have a sidebar. And the sidebar over here could also be talking about your newsletter or your freemium. You can put whatever you want in the sidebar. You can also show categories, which is up here, that's actually referred to almost as breadcrumbs. And that also gives a little bit more Google juice. If you want to show an opt-in form, you can show the actual opt-in form. And also, if you want to show the dates, you can show the dates of your posts. Since I'm mentioning that now, sometimes it's important for you to mention dates and have it. If I was doing a marketing blog, for example, and I'm giving information about SEO, I would definitely keep the date showing, because information changes like weekly. And so blog posts that were from my blog back in 2010 would not be relevant to anybody anymore. But the ones that I posted, say, yesterday would be. And so you want people to know the dates on information that changes all the time. But when you have a blog that is information that is evergreen, like the work a lot of you do, anything personal development wise, that is where I would almost recommend that you keep the dates off, because the information is evergreen. And the longer your information is on your site, the more Google juice you get. And you don't want someone to go into the search engines and see that your blog post is a year old or 8 years old, however long you've been in business, compared to one that just, came up a month ago. So in that case, you don't want to put the date. So if your material is evergreen, think about turning off the dates. If it's technical information that changes often, it's a good idea to keep the dates on. Just a little side tip over there. All right, so then the next one over here, you can decide how many posts you want to show. All right, I'm going to keep that set to 5 actually, because I also want to show you that there's different styles. This right here, where you're looking at one post stacked at a time, that's called a list grid or a list style. This is called a grid, where things are side by side. but evenly stacked. And masonry is where it changes a little bit on how you see it on the page. So right now, this is the only theme that they have, although you can come in and customize it. And they are coming out with other themes, but they've been prioritizing the actual software that they've been wanting to get out versus just design elements. So down the line, there will be more themes in here for you. So that's it on themes. Navigation, super simple to set up. You just, create it, and then you can just drag it and change it how you want. And very easy to set up categories as well. And a lot of different themes on WordPress. Some of this is built in, but usually only for the paid themes that you have to buy to get the navigation that you really want. And so they have all of that. And then under settings over here, they also have a whole bunch of other information that you could help with SEO for your entire blog, not just post specific, and where you come in and you do your domains and add subdomains, you add your logo, your favicon, you can add your social links, and then decide how you want to handle comments, what kind of forms you want. You put your copyright in. You can even embed ads if you have enough traffic, or you want to do, work with Google Ads. What the heck is it called? I forget. It's when you go to a website and you're being paid. It's AdSense. You're being paid to show other people's ads, or you can embed your own ad. So you can come up with some creatives, a banner or whatever, put it on the side and show it as an advertisement, but for your own products, which is kind of cool to do. And tracking in pixels and all of that is more advanced stuff, as is Open Graph normally. And we're going to be going into tracking in pixels and stuff down the line during the workshops. But this makes it super easy to put the tracking pixels in here. And they really do make everything very easy. But that's all I wanted to show you about the blog. So we're going to move on, and we're going to go to GrooveWebinar next and deal with GrooveKart last. But I just wanted to show you in here that this is the general dashboard. And if you've ever done webinars and use like GoToWebinar or anything like that, you have some stuff that you have to do. You have to set up your landing page and all of that, and bring everything into GoToWebinar. And again, they're going to make it super easy for us here. If you decide that you want to create a webinar, you create the new one here. You decide if it's going to be automated. The reason why this is saying live and everything else is because streaming is coming soon. All right, where they're adding streaming software. And I think I mentioned this in one of the previous sessions. Right now, for my live streaming software, I pay $500 a year for that. And it's going to go away as soon as Groove offers their streaming. I won't need to pay that bill anymore. And it'll be another added benefit of having Groove for me. So, but anyway, this whole system, it brings you through a whole process, step by step. It's a wizard where you can set up your details, you can add video, you could add your presenters, you can schedule it, you can engage your audience, you could add notifications, you can do integrations with Facebook and everything else. And it takes you step by step through the process so you don't get anything wrong. And it makes it very easy to do because you could build your pages that you need in Groove Pages and integrate them very easily to this. And so when you're looking to grow your business, especially if you're doing coaching, it's been proving that webinars are one of the best ways to convert your traffic. And this will be something that you will probably want to use when you get a little bit more comfortable on your different marketing strategies. So I wanted to make sure I showed you that. And again, down the line, that live stream is coming, which is really great. And so is the webinar on demand. And that's when you do the webinar and then you offer it to them as a repeat, and they get to choose the time that they want to watch it. That's an evergreen webinar. And as a matter of fact, that's what Groove is doing. What they did last week is they held a webinar last Wednesday, and then they replayed it, or had a new one, I think, on Saturday. But now what they're doing is they're taking that webinar and they're offering it on demand. So if you go to the link to watch the official webinar, it's giving you some times that you could choose from. And they're using their stuff, even though it's not out of beta yet, which is kind of cool because they're testing it themselves. They trust it that much, especially on such a big launch. So that is all on GrooveWebinar, but now on GrooveKart. Let's go over to that. GrooveKart is how I first got to meet Mike and a couple of the other people that started this company, because they started building GrooveKart to make it easy for anybody that had an account on Shopify. And if you're not familiar with Shopify, it's one of the main platforms to deliver physical products. And I had an e-com store. And before I even sold a product, my monthly bill was $600. Now you could start Shopify at, I think it's $60 a month or something like that. But everything that you truly need to market it, including proper navigation, is extra. So it was costing me $600 a month before I even paid for one advertisement to get the website out there. And GrooveKart has all of that, or I almost spilled my coffee, all of that built in to the platform. And at the time, I was paying for GrooveKart $500 a year versus $600 a month. So it was like a no-brainer for me to switch over. And this is also where I started teaching e-com, because when they didn't have anybody to do the training at the time, they asked who's willing to do the training, and I offered, since I love to teach. And I created GrooveKart Unlocked that showed other people how to create a store in GrooveKart. So anyway, I have taken my store down since when they made all of the changes, and I started doing more of a different style of work that I love, a different type of teaching. I didn't like so much the actual stuff with e-com and the physical products, so I did take down my store, but I still have the dashboard. So I do want to go in here and I want to show you, this is all new. Recently they did this. They also have a wizard that when you first come on to create a store, it brings you through all of these steps one by one, so you can create your store very easily with their guidance. And like every other dashboard they have analytics and everything that will keep the information there on how your business is doing. All right, but what I wanted to do in here is show you, let me think about where I need to go here. Under products, they have this wonderful little area called POD, which stands for Print on Demand. And this is built into the system with certain other companies that are involved. So T-Scape is a t-shirt, sweatshirt company, and I'll actually show you a sweatshirt that I had in my Happy line that was totally automated through T-Scape. But I wanted to show you a company like Printful, because anybody could use this and open an account in Printful, and you could offer any of your inspiration on this to your clients. You can come in and design a variety of women's clothing, including yoga pants, t-shirts, sweatshirts, everything else. And so if you were creating meditations and came across a saying that really spoke to your heart, you could reproduce that onto a t-shirt and put that into your store. You could also, if you have artwork, come in and create prints that you can sell. there's really so much you can do in here. I'm not going to go into a lot of it. I just wanted to show you that things are available in here. They have everything from stickers to mugs to notebooks. So if you wanted to do an inspirational journal, you can create that in here. And the thing about it is when you create your account in a company like this, it ties together with GrooveKart. And if somebody places an order, gotta get back there. If somebody places an order, everything is automated. You wake up the next morning and you get a message that you have so much money in your bank and that the order process is being done. And then you'll get a message from either Printful or Tscape or whatever company you're working with, and it'll tell you where you are in the process of that order being completed. They're also coming up with API keys that you can work with other companies besides what they offer here, because there's a lot of print-on-demand companies. But I wanted to just show you one of the products. Let me go over here for a second, because we had, see, we'll go to this one. This was my Step Into Happy. My system is running a little slow with all the recording stuff going on. I set up this product in Tscape. So I created everything in Tscape, and then I probably should have shown you that first. Let me get out of that for a second, because I just want to show you how absolutely simple this is. All of these little t-shirts and everything, all of this that are showing here. I won't go to all the other pages. All I had to do was go in and create it within Tscape once. And once I did, and I hit done, it pulled it into GrooveKart for me. And the two systems talked to one another and created all of these listings. So this was actually created not physically by me doing all of this work. The system did it, and all I had to do was come in and check everything to make sure it was okay and that everything looked all right. And so within a very short period of time, I had my Happy line up. This is part of the reason why I took down my store. When they upgraded everything, they put a lot of this different stuff in that you couldn't get rid of unless you created a new product for it, and I just didn't like all of this other stuff. But anyway, this was my Happy shirt, just a single word. And it was surprising how many of these I sold. The other stuff I had was, when I had the full store, I had inflatable kayaks and all kinds of fun stuff. But I started having a lot of trouble with distributors and everything, and it was just, for me, more hassle than it was worth. But still, if you're doing inspirational work, there's still so many things you can do. And completely automate it with GrooveKart. That's the thing that I love about GrooveKart. You let the system do the work for you. So GrooveKart is where you want to go if you're even slightly thinking of doing anything with physical products. It just works beautifully. It also keeps track of, just like GrooveSell does, on who you have to charge sales tax to, depending on how you set up your settings. So it just makes life very, very easy. And unlike Shopify, where you have to pay for every store if you want to really niche down into the store on how you do it, and maybe have a store just on a variety of different journals, or if you, want to have a store on all kinds of different, Oracle cards and that kind of thing. You can have separate stores. In the free account, you have to wait 30 days before creating another one. But you have unlimited e-commerce stores at no additional cost. So that's another pretty cool thing that Groove does for you. So basically, we have over the last, what is this, Becca, our 5th session or something like that. We've covered almost everything that you need to know about in Groove itself. and all of these different things. And now, let me just come back to our faces over here. The only other things that you really, that we haven't discussed are some of the ones that haven't been released yet, because they're still coming up with more applications that are going to be added to it. I did mention the live streaming that's coming down the pike, but they're also doing a help desk. They're doing the evergreen webinars and a couple of other things that are off the top of my head right now. But if you look at any of the promotions that they're doing during this last part before they come off of the lifetime offer and come out of beta completely, they tell you what is coming down the pike as well. And most of it they're planning on coming out with this year. But knowing these guys as I do, they're never going to stop development. So the platform is